Too a little short for a stormtrooper.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another huge episode of the Multiverse Report. That's right. We are recapping the week's dirty news from San Diego to, well, like still San Diego, really, and everywhere in between. My name is Mike Gibson. With me, as most of the time, but not the last two episodes. But back tonight, Steve Howler. What's up, Steve?
Well, I'm back out of the woods and ready to talk some crazy amount of news that I decided to miss when we scheduled a camping trip for the weekend of Comic-Con, not thinking about this.
Steve, you got to look at your calendar, man.
Hey, we made it through a wedding. We made it through a wedding through Comic-Con a couple years ago.
That's true, but not while we were hosting this podcast.
Also true. Also true.
Can you imagine if we had to duck out and record an episode real quick from our friend's wedding?
Hold on, Mark. We'll be right back for your wedding reception. We got to go record something.
And on the podcast, be like, "Whoa, hold on! I love this song. I gotta go dance. I love this song. Hold on."
Oh, that'd be great. That would be great.
I'll just vamp while Mike runs and dances to Love Shack, I guess, for a while.
Let's pull in a random friend. Okay, yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Well, thank you for toughing it out. We know you guys missed. It's 2 days later than our regular episode, but you're welcome. You got a couple mini San Diego Comic-Con recap from me, audio only. You can listen to those. We're gonna hit the big stuff tonight, and we're pretty sure it's already going to be a long episode because Steve and I like to talk. So
right. But we're going to be playing the hits. So there may be some things you missed.
Exactly.
There may be some things that Mike touched on in the last two episodes that we're not touching on tonight. We're only going for big ticket items. Trailers, shit
mostly
news.
Trailers.
Yeah, trailers, and more trailers.
And more trailers.
Some of the big stuff.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll bob and weave and touch on other stuff as well.
That never happens,
if you haven't
Mike.
checked
that
out
never happens.
We're
always right on target.
Stay on target. If you haven't checked out my 2 mini episodes about San Diego Comic-Con, you can check those out. Also, if I do say so myself, pretty dope a cappella version of our theme song that I did for those 2 mini episodes.
That is true.
I don't know why. I could have just easily clicked and dragged the actual song into the program. I just chose not to, and I don't know why. But
yeah,
hey.
I mean, you have the master of that, seeing you recorded it.
Yeah,
so
true. Just a little something special for those into the Comic-Con stuff. Anyway,
there you go.
Before we really dive deep, unfortunately, we have to, as we've done too often lately, I believe, on this show, we have to bid a fond farewell to a legendary comic book artist named Alan Grant. Alan Grant was a British artist who did career-defining work on Judge Dredd and helped create the legendary British comic magazine 2000 AD. He also did some incredibly memorable and outstanding work on Detective Comics and Batman Shadow of the Bat in the 90s, co-creating villains like the Ventriloquist, Anarchy, Ratcatcher, Jeremiah Arkham, Amygdala, and Victor Zsasz, Mr. Zsasz himself, who has been featured in quite a number of Batman movies at this point in one way or another. He was just like Alan Grant. If you look at some artists or some art that DC Comics let fly in the 90s, it is wild compared to like what happens today. And I'm not saying that the stuff they have today is bad. It's amazing and it's gorgeous and it's wonderful and it's, it runs the gamut of style. But there's something about like his work on Batman specifically, just like, this looks like nothing else I've ever seen ever, especially on a mainline superhero comic. It's just out there. Look up Alan Grant's work on Batman, and it's just like, wow. It's like avant-garde stuff almost, just wild stuff, like pushing the boundaries of what it could be. And it is, him having a hand in some of these like lower tier but super cool 90s villains, Ventriloquist, Ratcatcher, Anarchy, Victor Zsasz. A lot of those characters have been adapted into other things and will be part of the Batman mythos forever. So again, very sad to say goodbye to another legendary artist. But rest in peace, Mr. Alan Grant. Thank you for all you've done for the comic book world. Appreciate
Absolutely. And of note, you did mention the 90s. You guys got Alan Grant. We got Rob Liefeld. I think you won that battle.
Hey, I can't say DC is certainly not super innocent when it comes to like 90s overly buffed out
Pockets,
edgy.
when your pockets had pockets.
I think Marvel wins the pocket battle, the pouch and pocket battle, considering they had Rob Liefeld. But there certainly was a let's make this character look more extreme for extreme's sake, going around a lot in the 90s. But anyway, moving on, digging into some San Diego Comic-Con stuff. We are gonna do this roughly in the order that we found out about them, starting with the biggest thing that came out Thursday night, I believe, was the trailer for Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Now, Steve, I don't know if you got to see this trailer before tonight when you returned from the woods.
This one dropped right before I went in.
Oh, so you got to see it before. Okay.
Yep.
So I've already kind of shared my opinions on this on the mini episodes that I did. What did you think of the Dungeons & Dragons trailer for Honor Among Thieves?
I guess Cliff Notes, because I didn't rewatch it today. From what I saw and what I can remember, I was very happy that Chris Pine is in it because he's just Chris Pine. Also, extremely happy that the movie is not taking itself too seriously. Like, it seems just like a fun romp. Like, yes, we're following this merry band of thieves in a stupid situation they got themselves into. And, there's a loose tie to D&D and the party mechanics and whatnot, and it seems like it's just it's going to be a fun romp through the world, and it's going to be a popcorn movie, and it's not something that's going to win any Academy Awards, but it's like, if I'm happy coming in and out of it, let me put it this way, it seems to me what everyone has been saying Thor was without the expectations of it. It's like, oh, it's just a fun movie. Like, if it was not tied into this giant thing, would you have, and again, we're going back to Love and Thunder, would you have thought Love and Thunder was just a fun movie?
Right. Yeah.
And it seems like this is just in that vein of, okay, we're just doing a thing.
I agree. That's not something I don't think I said that in my mini episode, but I do think the tone that they went with is a good choice for this, because I think if you treat it too seriously, then you're asking for comparisons to Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Right.
And you don't necessarily want to invite comparisons from rabid fans of those things that you're stealing from them or anything like that. So I think making it a little bit lighter is a good way to go. And I agree with you that Chris Pine is just charming as hell in everything, but especially he's bringing it for this as well. Do you think there's an because we've talked about this and theorized about this before, do you think it's a possibility that it is revealed that these are human beings sitting around a table playing a game at any point, or do you think it takes full place fully in the world?
Yeah, I think they'll keep it playing fully in the world.
I kind of feel that way too.
And it's, I mean, Michelle Rodriguez's character seems grounded in a perfect foil to Chris Pine.
Right.
So I think they'll work it out like this was actually a band of thieves in whether it's like Neverwinter or whatever setting they're in, that they're just kind of doing their thing. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah. All right, good. I know there's some Dungeons and Dragons fans that I feel like don't love it. From what I saw, they're like, well, that owl bear technically isn't a whatever. You can't really transform into it unless you're this kind of thing. And it's like,
right.
I think
you're going to get that from everything. But like, we just saw a druid turn into an owl bear, and there was an actual mimic, and like, it ticked all the boxes of classic D&D type stuff.
Yeah.
Well, sounding like it's going to be an enjoyable movie compared to everything else they've thrown the D&D name on over the years.
Exactly. Yeah.
Carl Urban notwithstanding.
Carl Urban was in a Dungeons and Dragons thing?
I think he was in the last shitty one they tried.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I have never seen any of them, so I do not know.
Dungeons and Dragons 2000. Oh no, Jeremy Irons is who I was thinking of, not Carl.
Oh, okay.
Very different, but also
was gonna say.
famous. Yeah, Marlon Wayans apparently was in it as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Would not have expected Marlon Wayans. Interesting.
an
Well,
unexpected Marlon
speaking of,
Wayans for the beginning of the podcast. There we go.
Yeah. Speaking of comparisons that Dungeons and Dragons was trying to stave off, we also got a new trailer for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. And again, this is on the heels of getting a trailer for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. We got another Comic-Con specific trailer. I love this. I believe I talked about this. I almost don't remember what I talked about in those too many episodes.
You did.
So much has happened, and I love this trailer. I think it's incredible, and it really. I mean, I was gonna watch this show, but this like really actually made me really want to watch it in a way that I hadn't really felt before. But I've already talked about it. So, Steve, what did you think about this trailer?
Well, like you were just saying though, this trailer took what was primarily kind of esoteric, like we're in this age, this is beautiful, here's this thing, we're going here, and put some meat to the bones.
Yeah.
Like it actually put some stakes to what was happening. It introduced you to, the main players. It kind of moved things along in a way that you would think a trailer should to set up a show like this. Whereas all the rest, even the last quote unquote trailer we got was almost more of a teaser of like, don't show stuff, show the flashy thing that'll get people, tied in. So I think we learned and saw a lot more out of this than we had in the previous two. Again, this was one I watched before I left, so my brain's not quite as clear on it. But 4 Days in the Woods will do that to you.
What did you think about seeing, or seemingly seeing, like an origin of sorts of Sauron?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Or a creation of him or something. Like we saw Sauron. We saw like hints that he's confirming him as the villain, basically, or a villain, or a character.
And I'm not sure if, depends on which person you were talking about. Because there was one person that originally I thought was Sauron that I don't think is.
Well, I don't know. We saw like black iron gloves and like a dark thing walking. But then I was like, oh, that's Sauron. Oh my God. And it makes sense if this show is going to be about the forging of the Rings of Power.
Right. He's got to be tied into it somehow.
He's got to be tied into it. So, but then I also saw like a clip of another article that said first photo of actor's name that I don't remember as Sauron, and it was just like a human dude.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, what happens to him that makes him clothe himself in all black metal armor and grow to be 9 feet tall or whatever? So I'm very interested in that. I did not know that the show would go there or do anything like that, and the teasing of it is exciting to me for sure.
Yeah, and it seems like we didn't know up until this point, but it looks like Anson Boone, who was the person I was referring to, and I think you were as well.
Okay.
Is confirmed as playing him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens and how that all gets tied in, because there's a lot to unpack there. Like if you go from shape-shifting nether whatever to, menacing 9 foot tall.
Yeah,
with gauntlets, etc.
Lord of Mordor. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit of a jump. So this should hopefully fill in the jump itself. Also, chills seeing the Balrog at the end.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes. The Balrog.
That's what I thought you were going to say to me, and I was like,
nope. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
But
it was just and to hear that I don't know what it is about that sound effect.
Right.
And whatever they used to Foley the hell out of that, it was just like perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it works. This is something that I said on one of the mini episodes, but I want to get your opinion on it.
Yep.
I feel like I remember covering on this show a quote from one of the producers or showrunners or whatever, saying that they weren't necessarily trying to tie this into Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that it was going to kind of be its own thing. but it really seems like they're trying to tie it into Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy, or like make it look like it. I mean, like they got Howard Shore doing the music,
right?
And isn't he the one that did the trilogy?
Yep. It looks like it. It sounds like it. They
like
literally
the
put the
exact same thing.
Yeah, it's the Balrog of Moria.
Yeah, like you would have like redesigned that creature to make it your own thing, but no, it's the exact same design as the one from the movie. So clearly, they're like, no, we're doing our own thing. It's definitely a prequel to that thing that you already love.
This is totally not tied into it.
Yeah.
It's
totally not totally tied into it.
Yeah. Pulling the Hobbit mind trick in this sense.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, when's that come out? First week of September, right? So we still got like a month.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, because we have to keep all these things straight because the beginning starts next week.
Yeah, Paper Girls starts next week.
And
oh wait, no, does Paper Girls start at the end of this week?
It might. I don't know.
What day is today? The 26th?
Yeah, so
Paper Girls is Friday.
Oh boy.
So
Paper Girls starts this week, and then
also
next
comes
week,
out Friday. Also, the thing comes out Fridays. DC's League of Super Pets in the theaters,
which I saw John Krasinski touting the other day. So.
Oh, nice.
You know, Mr. Not Fantastic himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's that, and then August 5th is a big drop for Sandman. And Harley Quinn and Prey, the Hulu Predator movie comes out on August 5th. And the Disney Plus Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation Special comes out that day also. That's not as big an undertaking, but
other complete random plug. Tomorrow is the 6-part ILM documentary.
Oh, so I thought that was already out.
No, they're dropping it tomorrow on Disney Plus, July 27th, right? Yep, 27th.
I feel like I've seen so many people talking about it that I assumed it was already out, and I was like, I just gotta go watch that, and I haven't. Because I'm glad I haven't bothered because it's not
right now. You would have been. I would have gotten a really confused text with like, "Where is this thing?"
Yeah, for sure.
So I think, cool. I think that should be good, and I think, just about everything we talked about is probably going to be good, which is the problem. This is the crux, and for any listeners out there, you're going to get fits and starts and spurts of reviews until we can figure out exactly what's going on here. Because there is a lot of content coming at us.
Yeah, Steve and I have to have a conversation. We may end up doing something like, maybe pick we should pick like 2 that we're definitely going to do.
Yep.
But we should at least we should do like premiere episode recaps.
Yeah.
And maybe finale recaps of the other ones. You know,
that works.
Like maybe we might be, I don't know how many episodes Paper Girls is, but we could maybe even do Paper Girls before like Lord of the Rings starts or before.
Yeah, if we can get through it,
you know, let's find out how many episodes Paper Girls is, because if that wraps up before Andor and Lord of the Rings drop,
is Sandman doing the normal Netflix drop, or are they doing weekly?
Yeah, Sandman's 10 episodes all at once.
Oh god.
So we probably won't be doing a Sandman weekly recap because it'll all be all at once. But we'll see. We definitely should talk about Sandman at some point.
100%.
Well, let's talk about it. Hell, let's talk about it right now. Who cares? I'm gonna switch up the rundown a little bit because we're moving into DC anyway. We were gonna say this to the end, but we just mentioned it. We got a new trailer for The Sandman, Neil Gaiman's Sandman adaptation, dropping on Netflix August 5th, as we just said. This is a show I did not have to be sold on at all. The clips that they've released, the trailer or teasers that they've put out, I thought were great. But even without any of those, I love the Sandman books. I haven't read all of them, but the ones I've read I love dearly. I'm still working my way through the entire series.
Yep.
So I was ready for this show, and they said this was years ago. They announced they're doing a Sandman adaptation. It's going to be on Netflix. I was like, I'm in. I'm watching that. I don't care. Tell me nothing about it. I don't care.
And they've said they've been trying for 20 years. And
it's been in development hell for a long time.
This is the first time Gaiman has actually greenlit one.
Yes, besides the excellent Audible audio adaptation, which is excellent, and we've talked about that before.
We'll bring that back after we talk about the trailer a little here.
Okay, all right. but there was a panel at Comic-Con. The cast came out, talked about the show. Neil Gaiman was there as well, talked about the show. They all seem like they are very excited about it, very passionate about it. Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Lucifer in the panel, was specifying issues of books that she of the comic that she read and
amazing.
panels that, like, she's clearly has read it and clearly very passionate about the story. And then they showed this trailer. This trailer is the best trailer that they've released so far. It's the best teaser. It's whatever you want to call it. It's so good. It gives you like a hint of plot, even though in the books itself kind of like a friend of ours has just read the first 2 volumes, and she confirmed, she's like, it was weird because the plot kind of jumped all over the place. And it does. It's like, you know, maybe these 2 issues are about this one story, and then this 3rd issue is just a random fairy tale out of nowhere, and then the 4 and 5 pick up with the other thing or introduce a new thing. Like,
right.
It
and
kind
then
of is all
like
over the
7
place.
issues down the road, you go back to that fairy tale somewhere, and like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that, and this is true of the books, and they confirm that it's a show as well. The main character, Dream, or Morpheus, whichever name you want to call him, he's the only character that interacts with all of the characters. There's no, like, you know, without him, he's like the connective tissue between
Right.
all of these things, which is the true of the book as well. So it's cool that they're doing it in a series. But yeah, I thought this trailer was incredible. Steve, what did you think of it?
It blew me away. Like you said, I was sold on it, and now I'm very sold on it. When I said I wanted to bring back the audiobooks, I don't know if it's intentional, but Tom Sturridge, who's portraying Dream, has a little James McAvoy in his voice from that audio drama. And I know we had talked prior on the pod about how having listened to that, like every time I read, I've been reading through the first volume, and every time I read anything Dream says, it's in James McAvoy's voice. And Sturridge kind of has a little hint of it. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but holy hell does that work.
I thought that too, but then I realized Neil Gaiman is involved in both of these. It could just be Neil Gaiman being like, he sounds like this.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like giving that direction to both those actors, and so
Right.
that's what they do.
Yeah, because very similar cadence, very similar pacing, and it works.
Yeah, it works very well. A lot of the Corinthian in this trailer kind of looking like they're setting him up as the main villain, and he is in volume 2 of the book. But I did read that Neil Gaiman confirmed that the first season of the show is the first 2 volumes of the book. So it's Preludes and Nocturnes and A Doll's House.
Okay.
I mean, I guess depending on like what size volumes you're collecting, but for me, it's the first 2 like paperback volumes that I have. And they also released several clips from the show. 1 4-minute clip of Dream meeting Lucifer, and 1 2-minute clip of Dream hanging out with his sister Death. A clip that was taken directly from a page of the book, and where the first issue where we meet his sister. And in that 2 minutes, that clip, the 2-minute long clip, was enough to make me cry watching it, apropos of nothing else. Just wow. Made me really look forward to this show. Made me think maybe my wife can't watch this one with me.
I had that same thought of like, this one might be a little too intense.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it first and then be like, yeah, I'll rewatch it with
Right.
you, or you can, yes, this is good, or we'll skip the episode with the diner, you know. So we'll see. But anyway, I love this trailer. I can't wait for the show.
Yeah, they really brought Corinthian forward, and I think like Boyd Holbrook has the right look.
Yep.
And I was trying to figure out where I knew the name and I couldn't remember where I placed him from. For me, it was actually Narcos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say Logan. Yeah.
No, I didn't realize. After the fact, I kind of put 2 and 2 and 2 more together. But I was like, Narcos season 1, he was one of the DEA agents. And I was like, oh, that's where he's from. And then, you know, I looked up his IMDb. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I knew him from, too. So,
yeah,
it's, I think, and that 4-minute clip, I don't know if you saw the 4-minute clip of him and
I didn't
Lucifer.
watch it, no. I didn't want to watch too much.
I didn't watch the 2-minute clip. I watched the 4-minute clip.
Okay.
And Sturridge and Gwendolyn Christie like have some rapport. Like
I'm so excited for this show. This might be the first, like, it's been a while since I have straight up binged a show, mostly because I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see myself doing like big chunks of this at a time just because I'm so excited about it. Like, unless it's bad, and based on everything that I'm hearing, seeing, I can't imagine it being just straight up bad. It might be meh, but it just looks so good, and I'm so excited for it.
Oh yeah.
That I guarantee you I'm going to get through this faster than I've gotten through most shows of late.
Yeah, most Netflix bingeables.
Most bingeable shows, I should say that, yes.
So,
cool.
yeah,
so,
we're all high on that.
Yeah, and they had their own full-on, that, like, the Sandman panel wasn't part of the Warner Brothers DC panel, which it definitely could have been. It was its own thing. They booked its own time. Like, that's how much they're pushing this show. They didn't sandwich it into, you know, the hour that DC Warner Brothers had. They were just like, nah, we're going to do our own Sandman panel and give it a full hour just for Sandmans, which I think they're really pushing it, which is great.
Now, was Sandman, or was it a Vertigo imprint? Is that where it...
it was Vertigo, but DC owns Vertigo, so all that stuff, technically. And in I don't know if you remember, because it went by kind of quick, like John Constantine is in Sandman.
Right.
He's a mainline DC character. They reference
Joanna
the Justice
Constantine?
League. Yeah, in the show, Joanna Constantine. Very excited about that.
Yep.
But like Mr. Miracle is in the first couple issues of Sandman when he's looking for his stuff, and like I think Constantine takes him to like a Justice League center or whatever to like locate something. And Scott Free is there. Mr. Miracle. I think Martian Manhunter might be there too. I don't know. There's like, so it like touches on mainline DC continuity.
It's
but it's just so much
over in the ether.
Bigger. Yeah, exactly. Just like all this stuff over here that me as Morpheus doesn't care about at all because I'm Lord of the Dreamland. You know, it doesn't matter to me. But super cool. And that'll be interesting. I mean, Constantine is in it, albeit a gender bent version of the character. But it'll be interesting if we get any other references to.
So is she going to be like
DC
a chain smoking, pissed off at life?
I doubt she'll be chain smoking because I feel like they cut that right out of most things now. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited that she's British.
Yeah.
Because Keanu Reeves, not British.
Definitively not British.
Definitively not. But anyway, I'll be
interested. But he knows
kung fu. Yeah, he sure does. Someone noticed on Twitter, I saw this today, that Twitter was categorizing, you know, like Twitter like recommends posts based on like topics that you are into. Some like Twitter was promoting Sandman stuff under DC Extended Universe. And so someone replied and tagged Neil Gaiman and said, Twitter is saying this is in the DCEU. Is it in that universe, or is Twitter just wrong? And Neil Gaiman says it's happening in every universe, including our own universe, which is like a cryptic way of saying like whatever. Like, I mean, similar to Marvel, DC came out years ago and said like, it's a multiverse. Everything is canon.
Right.
It's just everything happened.
Everything is canon. Nothing is canon, and just figure it out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Take it how you will.
So yeah, of course. So somewhere out there, oh man, can we get a Joanna Constantine and Constantine team up movie? Oh. Like Jenna Coleman and Keanu Reeves teaming up. I would do that. That'd be great.
Yeah. That'd be fine.
That would be weird as hell. Anyway.
Hell, in all honesty, that's a new book. Like, throw that out.
Yeah.
DC Black Label, the Constantines.
Yeah. Or if you're Alan Moore, who created the character, Constantine.
True.
Kind of makes me feel like that's the right way to say it, but also I'm just used to saying Constantine, and I don't want to start saying Constantine.
Well, it is Alan Moore, so it's probably the ultra-British way to say it.
Yeah, true. Moving on to the actual DC panel, as I mentioned on the mini episodes, the rumors about Henry Cavill coming out to announce the return of him as Superman did not happen, despite Deadline reporting it. Way to go, Deadline. You're supposed to be a reputable source.
Kids these days, I tell you.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they got tricked by like a Snyder bro or somebody. But anyway, they gave us exactly what they promised they would give us, which is a look at Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Black Adam. Both panels were, from all accounts, lovely and super fun. The casts of both movies came out, had a lot of great things to say about the experience and the movie and how excited they are. Trailers for both dropped the Shazam trailer just made me so happy. It made me want to watch the original one again. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it's one of my favorite DCEU movies. I think it's one of the best movies DC's made in the last, I don't know, however many years since they've been trying to do a connected universe. It's so good. It's so funny. It's so heartwarming. It's really like an emotional roller coaster. It makes you laugh, makes you cry. And this movie looks like it's still, it looks like it's still in that same vein. And I loved seeing Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu as the villains of the movie. I loved seeing a giant dragon because, like, Shazam gets his powers from a wizard. It's magic. He lives in the world of magic despite being basically like Superman. Powers
which he references. No, he doesn't reference him. He references the Flash in the trailer. That's
right.
what it was.
They reference Superman heavily in the first movie, but seeing, and the first movie has a lot of like weird portals to other places and monsters and stuff too. But like I just like reminding like, yep, this is Magic Land. It's not fighting an evil billionaire or fighting like a murderer. It's just like, no, you're fighting a giant dragon because you're Shazam, right. And it's just like that was perfect. Steve, what did you think of this trailer?
I, again, as someone who hasn't seen the first movie, makes me want to go see the first movie because it seems very fun.
Maybe a couple spoilers maybe for the first movie, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I watch the first movie, I'll figure out that I was already spoiled on things.
You're like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, got it. Yeah. But in general, seems to fit in that vein, similar to what we were talking about with the Dungeons & Dragons movie, where it's like, just doesn't take itself too seriously. It just seems like it's a fun romp through whatever. Zachary Levi is fitting for that role, it seems. Like, even not knowing the character, it was just like, yeah, okay, this fits how it's supposed to be, just knowing what I do about, Billy versus Shazam, dynamic. And then like you said, the dragon that looked literally, for any other World of Warcraft nerds out there, basically looked like Sindragosa from Icecrown Citadel. And
of course.
I'm sitting there like, that's just really cool. Like, he's just fighting a dragon in wherever.
Yeah.
Like, wherever, in multiple different locations, it looked like by the trailer. So,
yeah. The way I pitch Shazam to people who haven't seen it is like, I say, if I was 10 and I saw that movie, it would be the greatest movie I'd ever seen in my entire life. Because it's about a kid who gets superpowers,
Yep.
And Zachary Levi is great at keeping that like youthful energy. Like in this trailer, is like, I just threw a truck at a dragon. I love my life, or whatever. Like, that's like, it's hilarious and it's great. And it's exactly like what you would think. You would just be like, I'm doing this because I'm supposed to do it and I'm saving the world, but also like, this is really cool, right? Like, it's not lost on him how amazing.
Yeah, you don't have the jaded Batman, like, here we go again.
Yeah. I was a little surprised that they kept the reference to Ezra Miller's Flash in there based on current Flash craziness that's happening.
But
I did notice.
Go for it.
You gonna say what I was about to say?
Probably.
No, you say. Say.
I was going to say, we've referenced numerous times exactly that everyone seems to have a lightning bolt, and that's what they were going back to.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
So
no,
maybe
I was
not.
going to say, I was surprised that they mentioned the Flash at all.
Yeah.
But I noticed that when they showed, in that part of the trailer, when they showed the Flash, they did not show their face. They did not show the face of the Flash. Mm-hmm. They showed the back and like the side a little bit.
Because it was pretty much was that just cut from?
Oh yeah, no, those are all cuts from other movies. I think it was like I think that was
the Justice League, like when he's running through, like trying to turn back time there.
I think so. And the Aquaman shot was from Aquaman, but the Batman shot was from Justice League also. Yep. So, but I thought it was interesting that
Batfleck confirmed again.
Probably not.
No.
But I just thought it was interesting that they made sure not to show Ezra Miller's face.
Right, because the other two are dead nuts shot of like full frontal face, everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so, I mean, that is just like, here's the back of the Flash.
Easily could have gotten a shot of Ezra Miller running and seeing their face, but they didn't. And I wonder why they did that. I hope it's because
probably the smart maneuver.
I hope it's because they are recasting and reshooting The Flash without Ezra Miller. David Zaslav, Warner Brothers, Discovery. Listen to what we're saying.
Go do that yesterday.
Spend the money. It's worth it. It is worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love this trailer. And I gotta say, I think it's really cool. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, DC only makes Batman and Superman stuff. Like, they should widen their scope or whatever. Like, yo, their entire San Diego Comic-Con panel was about the world of Shazam and his spin-off characters. Like, you got a Shazam and a Black Adam, and that's all that they talked about at San Diego Comic-Con. They didn't mention Batman. They didn't mention Superman. And now those people are probably like, why didn't they mention Superman? Henry Cavill didn't come out. Like, yo, shut up. They're talking about Shazam. This is
Right.
awesome. They're talking about a lesser character and his villain
Right.
at the same time. So
Now,
don't know.
at the same time, they didn't reference Superman in the trailer at all. Although you said they mentioned him a lot in the first movie.
There's a they were almost going to get, this was the first thing, this is when we learned that Henry Cavill was possibly walking away from playing Superman, is that he was supposed to cameo as Superman in Shazam.
Oh,
And
okay.
he said something like, I'll do it if you greenlight a Superman solo movie. And they said no, so he didn't do it.
Which
But
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I say Superman, they reference all of the Justice League characters more or less in Shazam because it takes place in that world, and this is a kid who decides he has superpowers, and his best friend is like, can you do this like Batman? Can you do this like Aquaman? Can you do this like, they're, so it's like, it works perfectly.
Right. So they go through the whole, got it.
Yeah.
Now we really need to go watch that.
And there is something that I think in the movie, and then also in a deleted scene, a character that they reference, Black Adam, which we learned a whole lot about in the last couple months, and we got a new, quote unquote, new trailer for Black Adam as part of DC San Diego Comic-Con panel. Steve, I don't know, I mentioned this on the mini episode. I don't know if you got to see this, but The Rock came out as Black Adam in full costume. He he was hooked up, harnessed, so he rose above the stage in front of the screen, and there was like lightning and stuff coming out from behind him that looked like he was doing it, and all this like smoke came out. Excuse me. It was great.
Nice.
And he was like, the DC universe is about to change. Crowd was going insane. It was
right.
Great. It was really cool.
Which is perfect for his, past history of wrestling and
theatricality.
Like that theatricality to a crowd
Yeah.
in live, like instantaneous reaction feedback type situation.
It's probably been a while since he's done something like that.
Oh yeah.
So he was probably like, yeah, I'll do that. That'll be great. So
scratch that old itch.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't get a chance to see this trailer. I know you said it was very similar to the prior.
Yep, there's some similar shots. You can tell they took it from kind of the same sections of the movie, which makes sense when you don't want to give away too much. Like we'll probably get like a final trailer in September or something, or closer to the release of the movie. But we did get some cool new shots of Dr. Fate and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. We got a cool new shot, a quick shot of Cyclone, which we hadn't really gotten too much in the other trailer. We got a cool shot of Hawkman trying to club him with his mace at the end, easily deflected by Black Adam. And more of just kind of like the setting up are you going to be a villain or are you going to be a hero? And I think he's going to, choose his own path kind of thing. But I don't know. I liked it. I like everything that I see in this movie. I feel like, The Rock's in it. It's going to make $1 billion. Every movie he makes tons of money, and it's a comic book property.
Right. So, you have the combination there, and it's like, okay, this is guaranteed money maker.
Yeah, and I can imagine, the likelihood that in the movie proper or in the post-credit scene, it somehow references Shazam in some way, or like Damon Honshu as the Wizard shows up in Black Adam to like give him his powers, because like they get their powers from the same place, the same wizard. So like stands to reason that he should be in it, or there should be a reference to Shazam in some way, and then Shazam's going to come out the next month. Like, it's a no-brainer. If there's no reference to Shazam in Black Adam, the movie that's going to make so much money, like you're idiots,
right,
Warner Brothers.
You need to market things better.
I can't say they haven't scored 100% on marketing DC movies in the past, so I don't know. We'll see, but
if past is precedent, I'm not holding my breath, but
yeah, absolute no-brainer to like connect these two dots of this movie that, like Shazam did very well at the box office, so the sequel is going to do better, I think, for sure. But if you can tie it into a movie starring The Rock, one of the greatest and most bankable movie stars that's out there currently, you're leaving money on the table if you're not doing that. So my guess is that they will.
That would make sense. Other things that make sense would be continuing the giant, massive effort that is the current MCU. And it looks like we got a lot of news on how they're going to do that.
We sure did, Steve. We got some clarification on some stuff we already know. We got a lot of more details on stuff that we had heard about, and we got more of what's coming in the future that we didn't know about. First of all, as we move into Marvel, the umbrella of this whole thing is that we should say that as Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 was referred to as the Infinity Saga, Kevin Feige announced that Phase 4, Phase 5, Phase 6 will be referred to as the Multiverse Saga. A very fitting name based on all the multiverse talk and stuff that we've gotten so far. But okay, so let's dive into this. Starting with Phase 4. We've been in Phase 4 for a few years now, or I guess not a few years. A year? Year and a half?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a few years. And I think with
things got delayed because
post-COVID world, everything got kind of pushed and shoved together, which is part of what's giving us a little bit of Marvel fatigue at this point, I think. Like we were talking when we went into the pandemic that break was nice and kind of refreshed everything.
It was.
And then everything got shoved right into a nice consolidated bundle that has been thrown at our faces quite readily.
Yeah. Especially when, it started with WandaVision.
Yep.
And WandaVision was incredibly successful because everybody was at home and there's nothing else to watch. So that took off and they're like, okay, it's all coming out. Let's do it.
Yep.
So, WandaVision, Black Widow, all the other Disney Plus stuff, Shang-Chi, Eternals, all those ones, Thor, Love and Thunder. They've all been Phase 4 so far. Kevin Feige has confirmed that Phase 4 will end. The last two entries of Phase 4 will be She-Hulk and Black Panther. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the movie that comes out in November. That also includes things like the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I guess, even though that's December. Right. That's canon. It's got to be part of something. And Werewolf by Night.
Werewolf by Night.
Right?
Yep.
I don't know if maybe they're not counting those because they're just one-off special things. But, James Gunn has said that the Guardians holiday special ties directly into Volume 3. So...
Right. Well, which Volume 3 is part of Phase 5, so maybe that's technically the first part of Phase 5.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, we got trailers. We got a new She-Hulk trailer. Let's talk about that first, Steve. I talked about what I thought of it on our mini episode. What do you think of the new She-Hulk trailer?
I thought that the CG looked 800 times better than the last time we saw it.
I think that there were some times that I still thought it didn't look great. But there were other times when I was like, oh, that looks way better. So it tells me that they're still working on it. Not that they have a ton of time left to finish it, but they're still working on it. And it's going to be I think it's just going to be a little janky at sometimes.
Well, and much like Moon Knight, where some parts were like, holy shit, this is like straight up Marvel, like Infinity War level. Whereas other parts were the logs.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we get more of the former than the latter. But yeah, there's a potential there. I do want to give a proper hey, how do you do to our newest cameo from this. Not the one you're thinking of, but Frogman.
Whoa, where was Frogman?
Frogman was jumping the green guy with the two things on his head.
I missed Frogman in this trailer.
Yep. So it seems like that's one of the newfound superheroes that Jennifer Walters will be
amazing
representing in court.
We also got Wong.
We did get Wong.
I don't think I knew Wong was in this show. And we got, not only did we get Emil Blonsky, we got him turning into Abomination, the same version of Abomination that we saw in Shang-Chi with the little fins on his head.
Yep.
Which was not in the original Incredible Hulk movie. But
correct.
I like that a lot.
And that also confirms that, and it looks like the main driving point of this is, yes, she'll have some side cases, but like she is representing Emil Blonsky, who is literally the person who fought her cousin, who's teaching her
and
everything.
helped destroyed destroy half of Harlem in the
Right.
process. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So that sets up some conflict, I think. Will we see Bruce Hulk face
Right.
off with Abomination again? Will the two of them meet at all? And yeah, I think a lot of the fun of this show is going to be who else is she going to represent, or who else is she going to, what other cases is she going to be offered?
Yep.
And will we see a scene of Jennifer Walters in court against Matt Murdock? Maybe the other lawyer of the DC of the Marvel universe, because boy howdy, at the end of this trailer, we get a cameo appearance from Daredevil himself. And if Daredevil's going to be in the show,
much like the Flash, we did not see his face.
You're right. We did not see his face, but we saw his costume. It's the red and yellow costume. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It's the red and yellow Daredevil costume.
Now, my only thought is, could it be D-Man?
Oh, I don't know. I hope not.
No, but
I got a lot of angry fans.
There would be extremely angry nerds if that, and like 5 extremely happy nerds.
Yeah, because there's the shot where he's like leaping over her and landing, and that's where
like
you can tell
rolling
it's
and
the red
landing.
yes, that's where you can tell it's the red and yellow suit. But then there's like this weird camera shot that comes around. He's holding the batons, and then in that shot, the suit looks all black to me. It doesn't look like the red and yellow. It doesn't look like the red one. It doesn't look like the red and yellow one. It just looks like all black. And maybe I'm just looking at it weird.
Yeah, and the kind of that red and black that was closer to what we saw in the Netflix Daredevil. Like that kind of darkish, like the darker take on it. Which, dumb thought. That was 2 separate cuts. Are those 2 separate scenes? Maybe we get D-Man and Daredevil.
I was gonna say, I was just about to say, they could be 2 different characters. They could be 2 different scenes. Could be 2 different characters.
You have to think if it's attorney at law, you're going to get Matt Murdock after he's been brought in.
So it'd be so dumb not to put Matt Murdock in a court scene with her. That would be so cool.
Right. It's happened so many times in the comics, and now you have him on board, and you want to push him ahead of what was announced as Daredevil. What was the name of it?
Born Again.
Oh, which can't be the comic book run Born Again, because
was
episode 3 or season 3.
That's what I said on the mini. I said the same thing, dude. Thank you for yes.
Like, we already did that. We can't do it again.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yep.
We'll get.
You're not going insane. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, we'll get there. It could be like he gets a costume upgrade, I guess, because in Daredevil season 3 he did not have the red suit back. He was the Man in Black again. So maybe he gets a suit upgrade. It also kind of looked like we're not talking about the Marvel animation stuff tonight, although listen to my one of my mini episodes if you want to hear about the Marvel animation stuff, where they announced a whole thing about Spider-Man freshman year, which is a multiversal version of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in his freshman year of high school, not mainline MCU timeline. And in that, Charlie Cox is voicing Daredevil, and he's wearing a black suit with like red piping, kind of like red highlights. So maybe he's gonna see that suit as well. I don't know. Or maybe they just changed the color of the suit to freak you out in a trailer. You know what I mean? It's a trailer. They could just color change it, make it whatever they want. Anyway, She-Hulk looks good. It's a half-hour comedy, half-hour sitcom, more or less. They've confirmed. Did you have anything else to say about She-Hulk before we move on to?
No, but you had me thinking about Daredevil, and I'm down that train. So season 3, he was the Man in Black again.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the Born Again storyline. If they're doing another start over, the next time that, the most recent time he was the Man in Black again without the suit was Chip Zdarsky's run.
Oh, wow.
And I just got way too excited. So let's move on before I go down a rabbit hole.
Let's move on. So far,
another rabbit hole.
Yeah. So far, I'm correct that we're taking a long time to talk about all this Marvel stuff, and it's going to be a long episode. And because we haven't even touched on Phase 5 yet, and we're not going to get there for a little bit longer because we have to talk about one of my favorite trailers maybe ever, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. As I said in the mini episode, this was announced as the end of Phase 4, but they saved the panel and presentation on it until the very end because I think they knew what they had and they wanted to close out their panel with a bang. Ryan Coogler came out, talked about the passing of Chadwick Boseman and how difficult that was, gave a great tribute to him. The cast came out, talked about him as well as the film and how proud they were of it, all this kind of stuff. And they showed this trailer. My God, I think I already talked about this trailer on the mini episode.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw it right to you, Steve. Did you watch? You waited until you got home to watch it, or did you watch it in the woods?
Yeah. At your suggestion, I waited until I was able to throw the headphones on and like
worth waiting till
get
you can
into
hear it really well and on a bigger screen. Yeah, for sure.
And even we've talked about it in the past because of Something in the Way for the Batman.
Yeah.
But this weird chilling rendition of No Woman No Cry,
yeah,
just like it hit all the notes, and then perfectly transitioned into Kendrick Lamar at the end, like heading into the action sequences towards the end of the film. But it was just like it set this somber tone for what we knew was going to be them ultimately. Like a couple shots in, we get confirmation that they're addressing T'Challa's death and that the funeral will happen, which is kind of crazy. But it opens with Shuri just sitting there, like Nakia, sitting there in front of a Mayan temple. Note, like big flag there. She's looking out on a beach in front of a Mayan temple.
Yeah,
we know
there's a lot of
Sorry,
we know what you keep talking.
Oh, no, I was going to say, we know Namor and the Atlanteans, further in the trailer, are coming into this, and this is all, like, right from the jump, tied in.
Yeah. There are several shots in the beginning of the trailer, Nakia as well as the Queen, Ramonda, looking out over the ocean.
Yeah.
Which signifies what we find out later in the trailer, is that, until an episode or two ago, a week or two ago, where you were like, no, they confirmed that Namor's in this movie. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Now you do.
And now I do. Now the world does. That Namor the Submariner is probably the villain of this movie, or the antagonist in this movie. Definitely leaning, like you said, leaning into Mexican, South American, Mesoamerican culture. For their version of Atlanteans, but I think that's smart to like differentiate it from Aquaman.
Yep.
And everything in this trailer was just shot so beautifully. Like the contrast, the colors, the imagery. There's one shot of someone standing in like a platform on water and it's burning. Like it was just like, I don't know what's
Shuri's
going
just
on.
standing there, like with everything lighting up around her, and you're like, what's happening?
I don't even know what that is, but it's gorgeous. And like there's shots of like Namor descending through water to sit on the throne of Atlantis, what I can only imagine is like Throne of Atlantis or whatever, or like them riding on whales and stuff. Like it's just gorgeous. It was just, everything about this was just so beautiful. I've watched it so many times.
Yep.
And I said this on the mini, I'll say it now. It's the most excited I've been for a Marvel movie since Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Based on this trailer alone. And I'm so glad that I didn't choose this movie to be the one that I didn't watch any trailers for, because I would have robbed myself of this beautiful experience, this amazing trailer.
Right. And I mean, you go through it. Of course, they're going to highlight all of the characters that we know.
Yeah.
Watching at the end, the Dora Milaje jump off, tethered to the boat, jump off to assault the Atlanteans was like, that's a way to end it right there.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I did like, we got confirmation of the Midnight Angels, which were the blue armored Dora Milaje. They were like an offshoot of the Dora Milaje that strangely enough in the comics went to fight Doctor Doom with Deadpool.
Okay.
After
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah, why not? But after Doom like stole all the vibranium, and they were like in super secret special group of the Dora Milaje that went with Deadpool to reclaim the vibranium from Doctor Doom, because comics makes total sense.
Total sense. What I thought was interesting, and something that I loved about this trailer, we did not get confirmation of who the new Black Panther is going to be.
Yes.
We barely got confirmation that there was a Black Panther in the movie at all. We just got one shot of a fist or a hand shooting out with the claws extending.
Yep.
That could be anybody in that suit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of female, but it's not even necessarily a female. Like, we don't even really know that.
Right. That suit tends to, make frames look a little more lithe than they are. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, your big three are either Nakia, Shuri, or Shuri as in the comics, or Killmonger, which also has happened.
Yes, but he's dead.
He's dead, but so is T'Challa.
Right, so T'Challa's not going to be Black Panther either.
No, I'm saying T'Challa was in the first movie. And
okay, yeah, you're right.
Killmonger said he was going to be buried at sea.
You think Atlanteans resurrected Killmonger somehow?
No, I think Atlanteans may have the body of Killmonger.
Whoa. Shit, man. I had not thought of that. Wow. Oh, so it's blowing my mind. That would be amazing.
So do they bring back Michael B. Jordan? Like, Ramonda said her entire family was taken from her. So where is Shuri?
Right. I was going to ask you about that line. Like, what does that mean? What happens to Shuri in this movie? My entire family is gone, she says. Yep. That is such a powerful line delivery from Angela Bassett.
Oh, God.
I am the queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. Like,
yeah,
she's just yelling that. Oh, man, it's so good. So I was talking to somebody today that told me about a theory that Michael B. Jordan is the new Black Panther, and I was like, well, he's dead. They did not say the thing about being buried at sea and Atlanteans having the body. I had originally,
but
I guess that,
in full disclosure, I had just seen the clip of like that quote from him, and it clicked. I was like, oh, maybe, but maybe, yeah. Relatively recently, I had seen that, so it was like fresh in the brain.
Yeah. Before Chadwick Boseman even passed away,
yep.
I thought it was a fair bet that we were going to see Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther 2, but I assumed that in my version of that before Chadwick Boseman passed, I thought that Chadwick Boseman would go to the the Undying. That's Lord of the Rings. What do they call the heaven where he talks to his
their
father?
spirit realm? Yeah,
their spirit realm, whatever. Because that spirit realm is for former kings of Wakanda, and in Black Panther for a while, Killmonger is king of Wakanda. He sits on the throne of Wakanda.
Technically, yeah.
So technically, that would give him access to that afterlife.
Right.
So I thought there was going to be some reason that he had to go there to speak to Killmonger, and that was going to be how we got a Michael B. Jordan cameo.
Right. Well, does Shuri go there?
Well, that's the thing. I feel like now, if Shuri goes there, they have to give us a reason that she doesn't talk to T'Challa, because Chadwick Boseman isn't going to be there to play T'Challa and talk to his sister. And I really, really hope they're not giving us a fucking Rogue One version of T'Challa CGI. Like, I do not want that. I do not want that at all. So I think it would be a little tough.
I don't think they would do that.
I
think if anything, I don't know. But maybe that's going back to what we just said. Is that where Shuri is when her whole family is gone? Does she think Shuri died, but she's actually,
I don't know,
there, like visiting them?
I don't know. I mean,
I say visiting like she's having a vacation.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I feel like that theory about Atlanteans having the body of Killmonger, now that I'm thinking about it, also is a little disrespectful. Like, he said that line is so powerful.
Oh, it
at the
is.
end of Black Panther, that I feel like bringing him back is almost a disservice to that character. Almost, he's like, let me die in the
bury me in the ocean with it was about my
My
my ancestors
ancestors
jumping
that
off the boat
knew
that were in
that-
bondage.
Yeah, that death was better than bondage. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like resurrecting him is just like, remember that
Right.
you wanted peace with your ancestors? Fuck you.
Right.
Sorry,
Well,
I just said
maybe
the F
it's,
word.
but
I
at
said
the
the F
same
word
time,
twice. You're gonna have to put a warning on this episode. Sorry.
don't worry, I label all of them not for kids, so we're good.
Oh, okay, good. I gotta let this shit fly.
There you go. But no, like that's the only way I think they could make that not, you know, not make that matter less would be if like Shuri or someone else is literally talking to him in the afterlife and like has some sort of converse, you know what I mean? Like there has to be
Yeah.
something that ties it all together. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe I'm back off the Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger again train, but maybe we get a cameo in the.
I think there's.
I keep
think
wanting to
it's
say
possible
Field
that
of
we'll-
Reeds, but that's the Moon Knight one.
Oh yeah, I think it's possible that we'll get a cameo somehow from Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan. I really just think that. I think the new Black Panther is going to be a female. It's going to be either Nakia or I think it's probably going to be Shuri. Like we saw as much, or we. Whoa, we just started playing on my computer. Sorry. Like we saw as much, or we heard as much reported when she was recovering from her accident. They couldn't film it anymore. They had to
Right.
wait. They had to stop filming because of waiting for her to recover. So, that makes it seem like she's in most of the movie. Maybe she's the star of the movie. Maybe she's in Black Panther. It also shows her. We didn't even talk about Riri Williams. Ironheart is in this trailer. We see a couple shots of Ironheart.
And
we see
Shuri and
her-
Ironheart.
Yes. So that makes me think that that's setting up a relationship for the future. So my money is on Shuri, but I kind of wish it was Nakia because she's awesome. She's
She
a real
is.
badass character. So, but we
I mean,
shall
Lupita
see.
Nyong'o and whatever is fine.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll gladly like amazing actor.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Also, Ancestral Plane. I had to look that up because it was bothering me.
Plane. There it is. Ancestral Plane.
And and since we saw Bast in Thor: Love and Thunder, is that going to tie in somehow?
Very possibly.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, Gore's not showing
know.
up, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, moving on.
because there's not 8 million more things on the rundown.
I know. Yeah, we should probably bang through this. All right, so that's Phase 4. Let's talk about the rest of this stuff. Phase 5. Should I bother going one by one, or should I read all of them and then we can jump back and touch on the ones we want to touch on?
Go all of them and then swing it back.
All right. Phase 5 is the following. February 17th, 2023, the beginning of Phase 5, and that starts with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, followed by What If Season 2, early 2023. I threw that in there. Here's the thing about the What If stuff. When they announced Phase 4, What If was firmly a part of the announcement, Phase 4. It was on that timeline thing that they showed. But in this San Diego Comic-Con presentation, it was siloed to the Marvel Animation panel, and it was not part of the main thing. So I don't know. I mean, it is an Elseworlds thing. It's not the main timeline, but it's multiverse stuff. So I don't know. I included it here just in case you want to talk about it. I know you don't care because you didn't love the first season. I don't know if I'm going to watch the second season because I don't care. Anyway, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming out May 5th, 2023, followed by Loki Season 2, summer of 2023. And in the fall of 2003, November 3rd, to be exact, we get Blade. Very excited about that. Followed up in the winter of that year, Agatha, Coven of Chaos. That's the new Agatha Harkness show. Followed up May 3rd, 2024, Captain America, New World Order. Hell yeah. Spring 2024, Secret Invasion. Summer 2024, Echo, both Disney Plus shows. July 28th, 2024, The Marvels, Captain Marvel sequel. Fall of 2024, Ironheart Disney Plus series, followed by, again in the fall of 2024, Daredevil, Born Again, which has said to be 18 episodes. Wow. The end of Phase 5 is the previously mentioned Thunderbolts movie, July 26th, 2024. That is your Phase 5 So we jump right to Born Again, or do you want to talk about some other stuff?
Well, I think we got to start with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania because we've known that Nathaniel Richards himself will be returning. Kang the Conqueror will be the main villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. So I mean, we'll get later why Kang is such an important piece of this whole puzzle.
This is gonna, unless we see Kang in a post-credit scene of Wakanda Forever or She-Hulk or something else, unless we see him pop up somewhere else, I think this is going to be like the big debut of Kang, and I think he is going to pop up in probably either in cameos or post-credit scenes of, they're going to start Thanosing him in Phase 5, I believe. I think I think I mentioned on one of the minis, there's a lot of these that he could show up, that it would make sense for him to show up on Guardians Volume 3, Secret Invasion, Marvels,
Loki again.
Loki for sure, because he was on Season 1. So,
come on, that was He Who Remains. That was totally different.
Oh my god, come on. I know. I mean, any of these things, you can throw a post-credit scene in, and he could be in any of these things. Like, they're going to start threading him through.
And the more Jonathan Majors you give me, it's going to be good.
Yeah, he's an incredible actor. We also got confirmation on Cassie Lang debuting as Stature in her own growing suit. And apparently in the footage that was showed at Hall H, we got to look at MODOK.
The mental organism designed only for killing?
Only for killing. And Steve, nobody is really confirming this, but do you remember, probably, I don't know, months ago now, where we talked about an interview that Bill Murray gave saying that he was showing up in a Marvel movie, and based on timelines, we thought it was going to be Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Oh, boy.
I think all signs point to Bill Murray as MODOK.
That would be utterly amazing.
I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
All right, write that down. 7/26/2022.
I mean, it's not my prediction. I saw someone else saying it online, and I was like, but I think that's what it's going to be, and I think that's going to be great.
There we go.
I think if Bill Murray, I think if he's going to be in a Marvel movie, I think it's like, I'm just a giant floating head. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Why not?
Stuff. Yeah, I bet it's going to be Bill Murray. It's going to be funny. Guardians Volume 3 said to focus very heavily on Rocket Raccoon. I guess they got a first look at Adam Warlock, and the High Evolutionary.
It was confirmed that Chikudu Iwuji, who was he in Peacemaker?
Merv was his name, or something like that.
Yeah, the head of the new Suicide Squad team.
Yeah, the head of the team of the Argus team, or the the team from Peacemaker. Is playing the High Evolutionary,
right?
In Guardians of the Galaxy, the maker of Rocket Raccoon, I guess.
Which is hilarious because the High Evolutionary was originally upset and went down the science rabbit hole because he was obsessed with one Mr. Sinister.
Ooh, really?
As a fledgling scientist. So he was basically worshipped Nathaniel Essex's work.
Nice.
Who Nathaniel Essex was or became Mr. Sinister.
Cool.
That's awesome. More mutant tie-ins because we needed more of those.
I think we do need more.
I think we do.
We only have one, so I need some more.
We talked about Wakanda Forever, and there's nothing in the trailer, but I still want to I'm not holding my breath that we're not going to see Aurora Monroe.
That's true.
Even if it's just a cameo that someone mentions Aurora at the wake or the funeral. I don't know.
Based on something that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, I don't know if we're going to see that. But I'll get there. But I hope that we will get confirmation of Namor the Submariner being a mutant, because he is a mutant in the comic books, and I believe the first one ever in Marvel Comics continuity.
He was considered the first mutant, and
so it makes sense that he will be the.
Oh, what's that?
It makes sense that he will be the first one that we see technically in the MCU. Unless something happens between then and now, he'll be the first mutant. Well, I guess they said that Ms. Marvel's a mutant. but I don't know.
Yeah.
Still cool. Second.
Yeah, I mean, he's much older, so he's the first mutant.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it was kind of retconned in the comics. Like,
Yeah,
once
that's
it was
true.
determined he was a mutant, it's like, well, he's been around since 1939 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He's the first mutant.
Right.
The in the shot in the trailer, I love that when they show, like, they show his birth in the trailer, and he's sitting there and he's born and he's got the little wings.
Got the little wings on
And I
his
was
feet.
like,
That's great.
that's perfect.
Yep. So good. So good.
I had to rewind that like 5 times to be like, wait, okay, yeah, no, those are there. I'm not just imagining them.
Yeah. I wish they had given us more information about Blade. I don't think they really said anything, but I'm excited about that. How do you not like just push that release date back a week and have it out in time for Halloween? Like it's a vampire movie. Like make that happen.
Bring it out the week before. Unless,
yeah.
you know, it's one of those where look at Disney's release calendar and they've probably already got something planned for that.
Yep, they probably
Maybe
do.
that's like Hocus Pocus 17 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or Werewolf by Night Chapter 2. Maybe they're going to do a Halloween episode every year. Agatha, Coven of Chaos. I'm not super excited about that because I don't know, but I
don't know how they're going to get a full. I like Catherine Hahn, but how are they going to get a full series out of that?
I don't know. I'm interested to see more. I like weird, creepy magic stuff. So
yeah,
I'm in if that's what it is.
Although
very excited about.
If it's anything like Star Wars, the shows that have featured people we don't know have been some of the better things.
True.
So maybe it's just like we get off the beaten path and go down Agatha Harkness's route.
Yep. Very excited about Captain America New World Order. I know I talked about Secret Invasion and Echo, Marvels we talked about recently, Ironheart. Daredevil Born Again. Steve, 18 episodes. Is that too many episodes?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
I don't know. In 2022, I hear a number of people complaining when shows are 13 episodes long per season. They think 10 is the perfect season length of an episode. I'm fine with 13, but I definitely have drifted away from needing 20-ish episodes of a TV show per season. It just seems like a lot of wheel spinning, you know, if we're talking about CW shows or whatever else is still on network television. I think it's too many. Like, cut it in half. It's too many.
But think about the original Daredevil series.
Yeah,
how many episodes? 13. It was 13? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I guess it's one of those where, like, every time we've seen one of these 6-episode miniseries, we're like, they should have taken more time.
Yeah.
And, like, stretched it out and added more.
I like that.
And then every time they've done the 10, like, we've run into the same thing with the 10. So, we'll see. I mean, 18 does seem bigger than what they've been doing, but it's still, like, you know, if it fits and the storyline calls for it, then sure.
Yeah. Speaking of storyline, thank you for saying the same thing without listening. I know you said you didn't get a chance to listen to my second mini episode. Steve, I said that exact same thing, that like, season 3 of Daredevil was basically Born Again. Like, Born Again is a classic story from Marvel Comics. One of the
dark as hell.
Very dark, one of the pinnacle of Daredevil stories, where he is presumed dead and hiding, and has to come out to like clear his name. Which is exactly what happens in season 3 of Daredevil, with Bullseye takes over his suit, starts killing people, in that show, and he has to come out and clear his name. So like that was like their version. So I believe, I said this on the mini as well, I believe that this is just Marvel taking a good title and using a good title and referencing it like Born Again, as in the show is back. Here's like a revival of the show that you guys love. You're welcome. So I think that's what that is. I can't imagine, because like season 3, unless this is, I mean, you're going to enrage a lot of people if this is not a continuation of that series, if this is like a reboot. But at the end of season 3, they're getting the firm back together. There's not a ton of like cliffhangery stuff. Besides Bullseye still being alive at the end of season 3.
Right.
So it's not like the character of Matt Murdock has to like come back from any trial or tribulation. He's kind of like all sorted out by the end of season 3 of Daredevil. So why Born Again unless you're just like, it's a cool title.
Yeah. And especially like they didn't hit all the points of Born Again in season 3, but they hit they played the hits.
You know what they could do though? Oh wait, no, that guy died. The who's the guy with the American flag on his face?
Oh, Jesus.
He shows
Yeah.
up. He's in Born Again, but he's played by he's in Jessica Jones, season 1.
Yes.
And he's in season 2 also. He dies in season 2. I mean, spoiler alerts for Jessica Jones.
Which I need to go back and watch again because those were great.
Duke. It's not Duke. Is it?
Oh, come on.
He's like a super soldier.
Yeah. Right.
Still. He's like Weapon 2 or something like that.
Yeah, my brain keeps
I don't remember his name. He's a minor character, but like I was gonna say maybe they could bring him in, but no, they already did. He died in season 2. But they could bring in Captain America shows up at the end of Born Again. They could bring in Captain America cameo.
Yeah,
could be cool.
I don't see that one happening just because of what's been said, but yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right, you ready for Phase 6?
No, because
okay,
it ends with Thunderbolts. Also, random one. Secret Invasion's filming. How the hell is that spring 2024?
Because as we reported last week, Marvel are total dicks to their FX houses.
Oh yeah,
and don't give them any time to work on stuff.
So maybe I guess that is giving them time to work on it.
I guess. I don't know. What'd you say? It's filming now, you said?
Yeah, like it's been like Sam Jackson.
Oh, I see what
confirmed.
you're saying. I thought you were saying the opposite of what you're saying.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, they showed footage from it. I think at San Diego Comic-Con. So,
whatever works.
You know, it could just be a thing where whatever happens in Secret Invasion, you know, Ant-Man has to happen first, or Captain America has to happen first before Secret Invasion can happen. You know, it's like, yes, we're working on this show. We've been working on it for a long time, but we have this continuity that we're tied to and can't do anything about. So, sorry, it has to wait. So, hopefully, it'll look great. Maybe they're, you know, learning their lesson. I don't know. Probably not.
Now, the one thing that I did want to bring back for Phase 4, just before we move on, is Thunderbolts. It has been confirmed, which we always thought. Was there any confirmation of who?
I didn't see any official confirmation of the characters. I didn't hear a lot about Thunderbolts that came directly from Kevin Feige. I also didn't seek out information about Thunderbolts.
Okay.
But there wasn't anything that jumped off my social media at me about like these characters are confirmed for Thunderbolts, but I could be wrong. I could just be missing it, but
right. Yeah. Either way, I mean, it's still something that it's good that they confirmed something that we already knew.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I said this on the mini too, but I was like, when they just did the Phase 5 stuff, I was like, oh, I feel like we knew about all this stuff. Besides Daredevil, like we'd heard at least a rumor about all these things.
Right. I mean, with Contessa showing up, it was pretty much guaranteed. So.
Yeah. But then he was like, oh, hey, you want to hear about Phase 6? And he dropped some Phase 6 nuggets on us. Now, they put up an entire timeline, as they did for Phase 4 and Phase 5, with little dates throughout. But they only filled 3 of those dates. And the first one they filled was November 8th, 2024, kicking off Phase 6, Fantastic Four. I believe they mentioned did they mention a director? I feel like I didn't see this. Really.
I don't think I saw one, but
I saw something about a creative team, but then I think that might have been about the comics in some way, and not about the movie. Because last we heard that they were looking for a director and hadn't found one. So there.
Yeah, no, there's a couple names being tossed around, but it's not there's
Nothing
officially
confirmed.
nothing after Watts left.
Right. Yep. Okay. So they have a little over 2 years to find a director, finish a script, make an entire movie, put some pressure on those VFX houses again. So good luck, Fantastic Four. Do you think this is way too far out to really speculate? But something tells me that Dr. Doom is not going to be the main villain of this movie.
No, I got a hunch he'll be the standard, like, here's introducing the team. They're going to have a minor threat or relatively minor threat. And then Doom is the post-credits, like,
right. because
Or maybe we get like a flashback to like Reed in college and Doom is there or something like that.
they set him up.
Yeah.
I just feel like we've gotten 2 bad Fantastic Four movies. Well, we got 3, but 2 bad Fantastic Four movies that start off with Doctor Doom as the bad guy, which you would think makes sense, but then it's like, would you want to do that a third time? It's like when they rebooted the Spider-Man with Tom Holland. They're like, we're not going to do Green Goblin again.
Right.
We're not going to show you the origin even. But I also think it's possible that they start threading these characters in some Phase 5 stuff. Like, do we see Doctor Doom in Captain America: New World Order, or do we see him in Secret Invasion? Do we start seeing hints of Fantastic Four? So like, they do the work throughout, so when it hits, it makes a little bit more sense. I don't know. Possible.
Right. I mean, thinking about even the main, pieces of the puzzle, like the actual Fantastic Four, like hypothetically, we didn't see it in the trailer, but is like She-Hulk representing Johnny Storm in some random case or something like that. Like,
right? Yeah.
They could be woven into wherever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Echo happens in New York City. Like, there's, do you find the Baxter Building?
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Easily.
Ironheart, really smart. Reed Richards, also really smart.
That's right. Another slot that they filled in for Phase 6, they jump all the way to May 2nd, 2025 for Avengers Kang Dynasty. It was announced today that Destin Daniel Cretton will be directing Avengers Kang Dynasty. This will be, we got 2 Avengers movies directed by Joss Whedon, then we got 2 other ones directed by the Russo brothers. So it's a small amount of people that have directed Avengers movies so far. And Destin Daniel Cretton is the director of Shang-Chi and likely the sequel to Shang-Chi that has been not formally announced, but said that it's in development.
Right.
So this clearly, I feel, is going to be where they have to make a final stand against Kang the Conqueror in some way. And based on the name, I feel like, similar to Infinity War, I feel like Kang is going to win. I don't know. That's just my theory. Unless whatever happens, unless he wins previously, and this is them defeating him. But I think he's going to win because less than a year later, November 7th, 2025, we're getting Avengers Secret Wars. So, the fact that they're coming out so close to each other makes me think that they are related in some way. It's not a part 1, it's not part 2. I mean, they have different names, but obviously they can be called whatever. They don't have to be a part 1 and part 2. But if Kang is still a threat, then I feel like Secret Wars would be called something else, unless Kang is the one that is making. Secret Wars is this is broad strokes, so correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but Secret Wars is a event from Marvel Comics that has happened 2 or 3 times. They've done a Secret Wars thing twice, and it's a villain that takes all of the heroes and villains to a special battle world and makes them fight each other. And the original one, this is where Spider-Man steps in black goo and gets a black costume. So unless Kang is the villain that takes them all to special battle world and makes them fight, I guess that could be the case, that where, he wins whatever fight in Kang Dynasty, and that's what he wants to do with Secret Wars. Or maybe, I don't know, something tells me that maybe this is the Doctor Doom threat, or he's somehow in control of Secret Wars. I don't know. I'm just kind of theorizing and spitballing things out.
No, it's kind of weird. And you have the OG Secret Wars, and then you have the 15 Hickman Secret Wars, who we all know Jonathan Hickman as the mad scientist behind various things in comics, including an awesome Avengers run and this reboot on X-Men and this 2015 Secret Wars, among various other things. But the Battle World thing it's feasible. I'm curious if there's enough time to set up and character, especially with Fantastic Four coming in Phase 6. if there's enough to set up like Doom as the main antagonist and all that, and how things are, working, or Doom as a protagonist, depending on what side of whatever you're looking at.
Right.
Because I mean, he teamed up with Reed or Doctor Strange and was it Miracle Man? At one point in the beginning of Secret, I haven't read it in forever, but
Yeah.
but like there's a lot of setup that would be needed to do Secret Wars right. So what I'm wondering, and my friend John actually posed this to me earlier today, might have been yesterday, whatever, of what, like, do they just take the name and kind of
like we're saying
sauce
with
over
Born
it
Again.
like they did with Born Again, or even in the Infinity Saga, like
Or even
they took the
that's
broad
true,
strokes
or-
of Thanos and
Yeah.
then missed a ton of everything else in the Infinity War.
Yeah. I think I said this in one of the minis, but Age of Ultron, that was like a title from the comic books, but they just outright came out and said, that's just a good title. It's not the same story from the
Right.
books. We're just using it because it's a good title.
Right. It just
Um,
happened to have Ultron, and that was
yeah.
a good title.
Yeah, very well could be that. I'm looking at the timeline they put up for Phase 6. And so between Fantastic Four and Avengers Kang Dynasty, there are 2 dates, winter 2024 and spring 2025. And then May comes out. May is Avengers Kang Dynasty. Then there is 1 date between the 2 Avengers movies, just summer 2025. So there are things happening before and in between these 2 movies, the 2 Avengers movies. And then after, that's not even the end of Phase 6. Phase 6 does not end with Avengers Secret Wars. There's a fall 2025. Oh, sorry. No, okay, I'm reading this wrong. There are multiple things that happen prior to, because like things are above and below the timeline, so I'm just
Right.
reading them wrong. But there are a few things that happen before Avengers Kang Dynasty, and then summer 2020. Okay, so there's 2 things that happen between. Okay, sorry, Avengers Secret Wars is the end of Phase 6, but there's 2 summer 2025s that happen in between. And the second summer 2025 is spaced oddly away from the other titles in the timeline. Like whatever the logo is, like needs more space or something. I don't know.
Huh. Weird.
It's just interesting way they put it out. So I guess whatever Secret Wars ends up being, it is going to be the end of Phase 6. I thought I was reading it wrong initially when I said this first. So November 2025 is the end of Phase 6 with Avengers Secret Wars. We will see what happens there. Now, there was 8 other slots on that timeline that I was just talking about. I know we're going way long here on this episode, but real quick.
That's still like 8 slots within 1 year. Like November 8th, 2024 to November 7th, 2025, you have 7 other things to do.
Yeah.
Or no, 8 plus Kang Dynasty.
So let's look at things like what we've heard announced before, like Wonder Man. They announced a Wonder Man show.
Yep.
We are assuming they're going to do a 4th Spider-Man movie, the way they ended the last one. Deadpool 3 is something that we think is going to happen. Shang-Chi 2, something they've said is going to happen. What If and Marvel Zombies, I don't know. They included the animation stuff once on the timeline. I don't know if that is something that's going to happen again in phase 5, or these are all going to be live action things.
Right.
Now, 2 interesting reports that came out this week. One, this was reported on a podcast. There's no like real source other than this podcast. This is a guy that has some kind of insight into the movie industry. Birth, Death Movies is one of the podcasts that he is from or runs or whatever. And he reports this, that the contractual agreement between 20th Century Fox and the actors of the X-Men movies, when Disney bought 20th Century Fox, they bought that contract as well, right? The contract that those actors, the original actors from the X-Men movies, the Fox X-Men movies, they are under contract to return as those characters up until the year 2025. So that's why we have not gotten any X-Men yet. It's why we have not gotten any announcement of any X-Men yet or development on any X-Men movie yet, because if they start making an X-Men movie, it has to be with those actors unless or until 2025.
Which would also make sense why Patrick Stewart came back as Charles.
Exactly, because it's the original guy. It also makes sense why they can make a Deadpool 3, because Ryan Reynolds is the original Deadpool actor. But they can't make a new Wolverine movie unless it's going to be Hugh Jackman. They can't make a new... And that's weird, too, because there's like multiple people that have played those characters. Like, 2 different people have played Jean Grey, if you're not counting the little kids that played her in flashbacks and stuff, you know? So, like, that's a lot. Like, is it Kelsey Grammer or is it... what's his face?
I
can't remember his name.
The guy that was in, he played, he was in the Russian, Nicholas Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult. Yep. I chose that character because I thought I was going to be able to pull that name. No, couldn't. But, like, that's my question, you know? And we don't know. So that's why I don't think we're going to see Storm in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, because it would have to be Halle Berry.
Mm-hmm.
Or the woman that played her in Dark Phoenix and Apocalypse, whose name I don't remember.
Same.
But she was great. So that's interesting. So that's but then if the movie's supposed to, I don't think they can even start production. So I was thinking, like, for a second I was like, well, if the movie's coming out in 2025, does that count? But no, because they would have to start production. They would have to sign contracts with actors in order to do that. So we're not getting the X-Men until Phase 7. I don't think. X-Men's going to be a longer while than we even want.
Because at this point, the only people they'd be able to bring in are those who haven't appeared in live action.
Yes. Yep. Or Deadpool actors.
Right.
Like anyone that's played a thing in Deadpool. I guess they could probably do Colossus. Like whoever voices Colossus in the Deadpool movies could probably be in that. But there was a Colossus in the Fox movie, so I don't know.
It's a weird situation.
A weird thing. Well, I guess if they want to keep using those actors, then they can. But I just don't think they want to keep using the X-Men actors. They probably don't care about the Deadpool version of Colossus. They'd probably rather use that guy than the Daniel Credmore or whatever his name is. You know, they'd probably like Zazie Beetz could come back as Domino,
right?
She was in
which
Deadpool.
Would be awesome. But
it would be awesome.
That was a take on Domino that I was not expecting and actually really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, give a little more love to Shatterstar and a couple others, but he went out. He went hard, man. He went out hard.
Hate to break it to you, they did not do well in Deadpool 2.
No, and then you've got even the New Mutants. Like you can't bring any of them in. Unless you want to use those actors. Although those actors,
Maisie
Williams, Charlie Heaton, whoever played Bobby, like they all, for whatever they were given for that New Mutant script, it wasn't the fault of the actors.
I mean, you'd be dumb not to try to get Anya Taylor-Joy as Magic back.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know. And even Sophie Turner was good as Jean Grey. She was just in shit movies, you know? Like, I would take Sophie Turner. I don't know. But then that opens the door to continuity issues and questions and weirdness. Like, nah. Screw that. It's better to just start from scratch.
I mean, this is the multiverse, Multiverse Saga.
I'm already sick of multiverse stuff. Like, I already don't.
You're saying on the podcast named The Multiverse Report.
I like that name for a podcast. I'm sick of having to remember all these crazy other universes.
Now, and for the record, for any first-time listeners, this came out a year ago before we knew of any of these multiverse shenanigans.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we named this podcast before any of this. Marvel also registered... Who knows? Fingers crossed. Marvel also recently registered a bunch of names with the trademark office. And they registered a bunch of these names, and about, I don't know, close to half of them were announced at San Diego Comic-Con. So we're expecting the rest of Phase 6 to be filled in at D23 in September, the Disney Disney version of Comic-Con, basically. So I'm going to read off other names that were trademarked, but not used, but not announced. And some of these could be legit. Some of them could be just Disney. Sometimes corporations will register things just to have them in case they want to use them, or specifically to throw fans off the trail. So these could be nothing, or they could be something, and maybe we can talk about which is which. But they also registered Nomad, which is a name that Captain America or Steve Rogers uses when he's not using Captain America sometime. Weird.
Yep.
They registered Captain America, Red, White, and Black. Could be a cool Disney
Isaiah
Plus
Bradley.
series, exploring the Isaiah Bradley storyline that was referenced in Falcon Winter Soldier. Celestials, End of Time. Weird. Could be an Eternals tie-in maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Avengers, Eternity Wars.
Okay.
Maybe. Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time.
Okay.
We know they're working on a Shang-Chi too. That's a cool title. Could work. Black Knight Origins. Hercules, Rise of the Gods. Runaways, New Era. Red Guardian, Generations. Avengers Academy. Avengers Timeless. Avengers Excursion. Timeless Saga. Eternity Saga. Sam Wilson, Captain America. And Midnight Suns.
You
They
had me at Midnight
trademarked
Suns.
all of those. Yeah.
Avengers
So some of
Excursion,
those-
is that like just a vacation movie?
I know, yeah. I don't love that one. Some of these I don't like. Some of these I think are like Shang-Chi and the Wreckage of Time, I think is a really cool title. That'd be a cool title for a
No,
sequel.
that
and we
sounds
know
like
that
a
they're working
freaking
on one.
indie band, man.
Yeah, I know, it does. I hope they're making a Captain America Red, White, and Black. Like flashback to Isaiah Thomas's story. That would be great.
Black Knight Origins.
Yeah, I don't know what that could be. Some of these could be animated. Some of these could be Disney Plus shows. I
Right.
mean, someone could be animated. Avengers Eternity Wars just kind of sounds like an alternate title to Secret Wars or something.
Well, there's rumor that Hickman's new run is going to be the Eternity Saga or something like that.
Oh, really?
So it would seem weird for them to take something that new,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Yeah. Like Sam Wilson, Captain America sounds like just an alternate title for Captain America 4.
Yeah.
Midnight Suns is a property that would be cool to develop, but I feel like you gotta do some other work to
Right.
get there a little bit.
Right now you've got Blade.
And Doctor Strange.
Yeah. But like no
Well,
Elsa
yeah.
Bloodstone, like
Right.
a lot of the other magic users in the MCU are not
But
present.
hey, Runaways, New Era. That'd be cool if they
Yeah.
brought Runaways back.
Which would
That show was
also bring one of the Midnight Suns back.
Yeah.
With was it Nico?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. That'd be cool. All right, so that's all the Marvel stuff. And we love Marvel,
that's
but
it.
we do. Yeah, that's it.
That
That's
hour
it.
was
Can you
it.
believe it? And we love the MCU and we love Marvel, but we do have to shout out real quick just one story that came out prior to Comic-Con where Marvel Entertainment accused once again of not paying the creators what they were promised for adapting their characters into live action media and other media. Creators of Devin Grayson and J.G. Jones. They're creators of Yelena Belova, the sister of Natasha, Black Widow. They were signed a contract that promised them $25,000 for Yelena to be included in the MCU, and they only got paid $5,000 each. Bullshit. Marvel is claiming, ooh, you didn't read the fine print and all that kind of stuff. But come on, just pay your creators. You're making $1 billion franchise. You just announced all these movies. They're all going to make billions of dollars, and you're going to be so rich. You can pay the people that thought these characters up. You can do it. I promise you that you can do it. It's not hard. Just give them more money. Give them more money, Marvel. Come on. So, all right, just had to balance the scales there a little bit. We got a few one-shots we're going to round out this episode with. This is a monster episode, and we're going to crush these one-shots and then get the hell out of here. So, Steve, let's take it away with some one-shots. Kick it off there. A rare Star Wars thing to talk about in this episode.
Right. Basically confirming things that we already knew. Amandla Sternberg has finally confirmed their role in Star Wars The Acolyte. They are a prominent actor known primarily, I guess, for being Rue in Hunger Games, among many other things they've done since that have all been apparently acclaimed. But, you know, it was heavily rumored for a long time that they were going to be the face of this show. And apparently now that is officially true.
Yep. they chose a good week to announce that because it got reported just along lines of all the other Comic-Con news. Something else came out this week is that Disney, almighty Disney, seeking to buy the streaming rights to Doctor Who. Now, this is just the streaming rights. Don't freak out. They're not trying to buy Doctor Who. And even if they were, I don't know the BBC would ever let go of Doctor Who. I don't think that those stuffy Brits are never gonna let Disney take over their golden child of Doctor Who. But Disney just wants to be able to stream Doctor Who on Disney Plus. They're looking for more just family friendly content to stream on Disney Plus. Right now, you can watch Doctor Who on HBO Max. And I don't know. I don't know. I feel like Doctor Who and Disney would be a weird fit. I think Doctor Who fits better on HBO Max. I don't know. It doesn't matter because it's a streaming service,
Right.
but like Disney and Doctor Who, for some reason, they just seem like they don't really go together. Who cares? I'll watch it no matter where it is, but it's just it's a weird pairing. But anyway,
I swear to God, Doctor Who is one of those that just keeps. It's like right below the tier of everything else that keeps being thrown on top of it.
Yeah.
So I'll like get down to it, and I'm like, I should start. Oh crap! Something new came out.
yeah, I know. Someday.
It sounds much like my comic pile of like, oh, I gotta read the. Oh God, I can't read that. So
This is my current comic pile. It's right next to me. I consolidated. I had like small piles all over the house, and today I just brought them down and put them in one pile.
I actually
to my
thought
desk.
about doing that.
Yeah, I was like, I just can't. I can't just leave them all over the house. But anyway, go
Fair
ahead.
enough. In random nostalgia notes, Dynamite Entertainment is officially resurrecting Disney's Gargoyles cartoon as a comic. If anyone who grew up in the 90s doesn't remember the Gargoyles, shame on you. That's about all I've got. But
Yeah,
it was
kept
a fun show.
it's kept quite a cult following, despite I think there was a limited series comic in like the early 2000s or something. But they're saying this one's going to be an ongoing, so that's cool.
Also weird that Dynamite's reviving a Disney when
Yeah,
Disney
why isn't it
owns
Marvel?
I don't
Why
know.
isn't it Marvel? I don't understand. Probably money. I don't know.
Right.
In news that I was very shocked to hear, never thought I would see this. Zack Snyder himself will guest star on the next season of Teen Titans Go. This is a show that I love. It's hilarious. I watch it with my son. It's wild and insane. And the more I think about Teen Titans Go, the more crazy it is that Warner Brothers and DC allows it to exist. Like this is a mainstream cartoon in which an A-list character being Robin is portrayed as a huge asshole 90% of the time, or just either a huge asshole or a tremendous idiot. And they're totally okay with them making insane jokes about their universes, all their movies, all of their everythings, which is another reason why I'm shocked that Zack Snyder is agreeing to appear on this show. Teen Titans Go has made lots of jokes about the Snyder Cut, has made jokes about Justice League, Batman versus Superman jokes. Like there's a whole in the Teen Titans Go to the movie, which everybody should watch because it's hilarious. There's a whole reference to the our moms have the same name moment in Batman versus Superman, just making fun of it. So I'm shocked that Zack Snyder's agreeing to go on, despite something that we would have spent 20 minutes talking about had it not been Comic-Con weekend. Rolling Stone reporting about the cult of Zack Snyder on Twitter getting his cut of Justice League to be released, and found almost 15% of the people retweeting that quote were like bots and stuff, and
that's good.
He manipulated his audience into getting it made and all this kind of like weird, wacky stuff. But despite that, he's like, yo, hey, I'm back for Warner Brothers and DC in this cartoon that'll probably make fun of me. So anyway, I'm excited
cashing
to see
a paycheck. That's what he's saying.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm taking more of Warner Brothers' money, even though they gave me so much of it. Yeah.
Speaking of things with a lot of money, Amazon is renewing the Wheel of Time for a third season already, even though season 2 has not dropped yet.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Season 1, good. Had some problems, especially from book readers. Me being one of which. But, it it's good to see them throwing money at it and saying, hey, we have confidence that this is going to improve. But at the same time, like, if they don't fix some things, there's going to be some issues. And you're going to end up in Game of Thrones land.
It does show that they're invested in the series.
Yeah.
But it is wild to me that they would greenlight a third season when the first season was such mixed reaction. Like, just let the second season hit, and if the second season works better, then, you know, like, okay, whatever. I mean, do you, Amazon? Well, you got billions of dollars.
Right. They threw $500 million at Lord of the Rings. Like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably hoping that Wheel of Time will get some eyes based on Lord of the Rings. Like, they know people are going to watch Lord of the Rings, and I bet you, like, at the end of the episode, at the end of the season, be like, you might also like, because because you watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, or it'll start showing up in your, hey, check this out type feed.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Last thing we're going to talk about tonight that I know of. William Shatner, King of the Nerds, William Shatner, Captain Kirk himself, will provide a voice in the new season of Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe cartoon, Masters of the Universe Revolution on Netflix. They haven't said who he's playing, but I thought this was worth mentioning because, as you may remember, the voice of Skeletor on that show, Mark Hamill. So this will mark the first time that Captain Kirk and Luke Skywalker will be working together on the same project. I thought that's
great.
Cool. Yep. Apparently, they announced this at Comic-Con. Kevin Smith was doing a Masters of the Universe panel, and towards the end of it, you heard William Shatner's voice from off stage say something like, hey, when are you going to talk about me? And the whole crowd like stopped, and then he walked out, and standing ovation. Obviously,
nice,
cool way to intro it. So yeah, like we said, that's all the Comic-Con news we're going to talk about. There was a bunch of other stuff. You can check out the mini episodes that I did. I mentioned some comic stuff. We didn't even talk about comics tonight at all, just because there was just too much going on. But I know there were some other stories that I'm sure we forgot to mention. Other stuff that happened that there's just too much. I'm sure we'll cover it future episodes. There's a new Halloween trailer for Halloween Ends that came out that I thought was good. So tangential.
It did look good
anyway, but it did look good. That's the only other thing I can really think of off the top of my head right now. And we've been talking for a very long time, so
we have.
Probably should just wrap it up.
Yeah, we probably should.
All right.
But before we wrap it up, we should probably have people, contact us at themultiverseport.com if you feel like checking out any of our stuff. Multiverseport@gmail.com if you want to talk to any of us. Find us on all the socials. We send out many duplicative social media notes today about this episode in particular. But the Multiverse Report on most of them. If you're listening to this on a podcast, feel free to like, subscribe, and drop us a review. It always helps us out. If you're listening or watching on YouTube or Twitch, follow us and also leave comments and reviews, because why not?
Please do. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Until next time, we'll see you in the multiverse.
Oh.